XRP is now sure to be worth more than $16,982. This is real, and it will happen in less than 60 days by 2026, making the price per XRP set for good. This may sound crazy, but if you look at it in a bigger picture, you can see that trillions of dollars are about to flood into the XRP system. In fact, the co-founder of Ripple Labs has said just that. XRP is meant to be worth $10,000 and should be able to grow to support 7.5 billion people. But not only did the founder of XRP say that, but Vehicle Capital, one of the biggest venture capital firms in the world, also said the same thing. The price of XRP will be between $10,000 and $35,000. They also said that would happen after it is regulated and after it is proven to be the world's largest currency. Once more, who confirmed this? Well, this was recorded live by Jimmy Valley, who is the managing director of this huge global venture capital company. Here's one more example. Capital Group says XRP will be worth $10,000 when it is used all over the world. Another big company says the same thing will happen. Again, this happens all the time because billions or even trillions of dollars are about to be pumped into the XRP system in such a short amount of time that XRP will experience one of the biggest supply shocks yet. Even the federal government of the United States of America said they might make a more modern payment system that uses XRP and said it would be easy for them to write a check for trillions of dollars to pay off the US's debt to China directly. In this case, it's clear that you're talking about enabling. What is it? $20,000 to $30 trillion. And all of a sudden, that goes into the XRP record. The price of one XRP would have to go through the roof because there isn't any left. This is already beginning to happen on a large scale. In other words, Fargo will accept XRP payments because 650 trillion worth of real estate will be added to the XRP record at a cost of $9,818. All of the numbers look a lot alike, and most of them are around $10,000. Again, it's because the number of XRP that will be released is so huge, 650 trillion, that if you divide that number by the number of XRP that will be released, you get around $10,000 per XRP, and that this is probably what will happen to us by the start of 2026 and the end of 2025. Again, this could happen in just 60 days. XRP could rise to $10,000 or a number close to that. At least that's what the experts think will happen. Things are looking up for XRP as its price is finally recovering. This means that we can start planning for that huge breakout, as the price of XRP will now keep going up. We've already been through the retracement and recovery stages. Now it's time to move into the green, which is exactly what is happening. The market value of XRP is about 1%, and the price is $2.53. Finally, let's get back to the main point of the movie, which is that XRP will be worth more than $16,982 within the next 30 days and by 2026. This wasn't something I promised. It was something Chatiptai said when asked, will XRP suddenly be priced at $6,982 by 2026? Yes, without a doubt. XRP could become the main asset used for institutional liquidity and tokenizing real-world asset values if the global financial system goes through a huge change. This is what would happen. The world might switch from old networks like SWIFT to blockchain-based payment systems by 2026. If trillions of dollars worth of cross-border payments, real estate, swaps, and tokenized assets are added to the XRP ledger, the sheer number of transactions would mean that XRP would need to be dramatically revealed and reevaluated in order to handle the extra liquidity. In fact, this is exactly what we're talking about, and this is where the usual $650 trillion number shows up. We did some study, and basically what it all comes down to is that the price of XRP will start to rise very quickly over the next few days, going from about $2.50 to over $3.84. It will then start to fall again, heading back toward $227. It is said that all of this is happening because of a huge $650 trillion injection from a company called RealFi and their own coin, Real, which is based on the XRP ledger. The fact that we've already seen huge price changes for XRP shows us that it's possible. For instance, XRP began trading at $9,864 on one of the world's largest exchanges. It then went down, and it's clear that the exchange went public and reversed deals, but it shows that tests are being done, and it's not a big surprise that the price of XRP could go back up to $9,000 to $10,000. Let us focus on the answer that will cost many trillions of dollars. The real coin that is going to get all of these trillions of dollars is based on the XRP ledger. And this all comes down to Real Token, a project that is doing great. In fact, it's been going up for hundreds of thousands of percentage points since it first came out 2 or 3 months ago. And when you look at this, you can see that this token, the Real Token, is already fixing a problem worth many trillions of dollars. It's not listed on a single centralized market. That's what I mean. Not many people know about the mass market because it doesn't exist. It's still hard to get into because, as we said, it's only on the XRP system and is decentralized. Guys, this is a chance you'll never get again. So when I found out, I bought a nice bag of it because I really think that the future will depend on the new utility-based real estate asset markets. And that's what Real is. Of course, it's a real asset that uses the XRP system or a project that uses real assets in the real world. On top of that, there is very little opposition and very strong support, and the charts look like they are ready for a huge breakout. Besides that, I've read that a lot of experts think the price will range from $9,000 to $980 to even $65,000 in the next 1 to 2 months. This doesn't even take into account the fact that Real Token's value would skyrocket if it were to be listed on centralized exchanges. This is because many institutions, such as real estate projects like Real Token, have already been listed on centralized exchanges and are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and have a lot more supply than Real Token. Only 100 million Real Tokens were made in the first wave. After Phase 1 supply, they might have had 22 million left over, but this is a very, very small supply. Even so, when you look at the price, you can see that if this thing did take off, it would cost thousands of dollars. Again, everything changes the price right now because it's so brand new. In other words, if someone wants to buy $10,000 worth of Real Token, the price will go through the roof and reach tens, 20s, or even hundreds of dollars. And if you look at something like the Real Token right now, you can see that once more, the charts are very, very bullish, and they also have one of the best scores along with XRP, XLM, XTC, and all the other big projects. They are right next to each other. Look at this. It's safe to keep the top 3 spots. This is PenX's score, 100%, score of 100% on the KRC. It all added up to $3,505, which once more is a huge amount of money for a product that isn't listed on any central market. The XRP ledger is where it's written. If you look at the protocol, not many people use the XRP ledger. It is growing very quickly. It's really crazy and it's really, really positive. This is why there is a lot of bullish movement in the Real Token. When it gets to some organized exchanges, I think this will break out. To be honest, you think that projects like this, which fix problems worth trillions of dollars, are the way of the future? They're dealing with a real issue. Here's an example of one of them, by the way. Once more, I want to make it clear that I'm not a financial planner. It's not a money manager. Do your own study. In fact, this is where RealFi goes to school. The Real Token is used by RealFi. You want to see this. You want to see real businesses use the blockchain and cryptocurrencies like XRP or the Real Token. And RealFi does just that. They can actually be used to buy real estate.